Hello everyone. So today I wanted to talk about Émile Jaques-Dalcroze and his long-lasting impact on music education through Eurhythmics. So you might be asking, who is Dalcroze? And if you're like me, that's the question I was asking myself. So I first stumbled across Dalcroze and Eurhythmics in one of my cello lessons a couple weeks ago when my professor asked me how I feel and interact with music and how it impacts the way I perform music or the way that I practice my music. So it's a topic that started interesting me, so I felt like I should research it and share with all of you. So you might be asking, who is Dalcroze? Dalcroze was a musician and educator born in Vienna, Austria on July 6, 1965, and then he lived a long and luxurious life, but ended up passing away on July 1st, 1950, in Geneva, Switzerland. So from a young age, he started music. At approximately 6 years old, or in the year 1871, he started playing piano, and is said to have become a master, almost a prodigy of sorts, on music and especially the piano. So he went to music school to further his studies. He studied harmony, counterpoint, and composition with the a world famous composer Anton Bruckner at the Academy of Music in Vienna. He started school there in 1887. After graduating from the Academy of Music in Vienna, he went on to study for 2 years later the rhythmic aspects associated with music with Mathis Lussi, a Swiss musician, and he became super interested with the rhythmic aspects of music that he started devising his own method or philosophy behind music and music education. So after graduating school, Dalcroze became a music history instructor at the Geneva Academy in 1891. In addition, he went on to give many prolific and important speeches to the French-speaking parts of Switzerland, lecturing on music history. When investigating his classroom and his students, he realized that they were not really feeling or hearing the music that they were rating in harmony exercises. He felt like they were just doing it almost on a mathematical approach and not fully recognizing the subtle nuances behind music and the importance of all these different nuances. So, to quench this and quell it, he developed his own approach. He called it Eurhythmics, and he sought to reshape music education forever. Eurhythmics focuses on music in a different way, in a different light than music education has been focused on ever before. And from the book Eurhythmics in the United States by Becknell, the author states, when describing Dalcroze, there was a poor communication between mind and body, between thought and execution. The remedy was a full body response, Eurhythmics. And that is what Eurhythmics is, a full body response to not just playing or making music, but experiencing music. So before we get on to fully describing what Eurhythmics is, I wanted to show y'all the legacy of Dalcroze. He wrote 3 major books plus many numerous shorter discussions on movement and music theory, and the movement aspect was important to Eurhythmics. He wrote 39 musical pageants or spectacles, including 1 grand scale opera, 108 orchestral works, 85 chamber works, 125 piano pieces, and he developed the Dalcroze method, which is also called or referred to as Eurhythmics. And of course, this is not a full comprehensive list, but it's just some of the many aspects of music that Dalcroze affected. And to the right here, we can see that a copy of the cover of Dalcroze's book on Eurhythmics. So by now you're probably curious, what is Eurhythmics? Eurhythmics is derived from eurythmy. It is from the Greek eurythmos, meaning rhythmical and well proportioned. It seeks to use a whole mind and body and ear approach to music. So it can be naturally divided into 3 divisions, and these divisions are rhythmic movement through dance, through feeling the music when playing, through breath, ear training through solfeggio on a fixed do-based system, and improvisation in practical harmony it can be referred to. And within the classroom and with his students, Dalcroze would have them experience solfeggio on a new grand scale that wasn't experienced before. He would play something on the piano, and then the students would have to respond in what key it was written in. But using fixed solfege makes it hard. They would have to go and then sing scales within that key. So he was training their ear to hear what key they were in. He would improv melodies or harmonies for the students to move around to and to feel the music. So while there's 3 divisions in Eurhythmics, they're all intertwined as one. And you can see on the right here, there's a few of his sample exercises that he would do with his students. Of course, this list is not comprehensive, but it gives you an idea of some of the exercises that his students would partake in. So in the context of the United States, Eurhythmics has a complex and unique history. As stated before, Dalcroze realized that there was a miscommunication between important parts of music, between the mind, body, and ear. So he devised Eurhythmics. He first had Eurhythmic schools around in overseas, but once it grew in popularity, the method was taken and adapted and adopted in the United States. In the year 1915, the Dalcroze School of Music in New York City became the first official training school of Dalcroze's Eurhythmics. In addition, in 1921, the Cleveland Institute of Music in Cleveland, Ohio, became the first institution to grant a Eurhythmics degree. And then in that same year, 1921, Carnegie Institute of Technology in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, became the first college to establish a permanent department of Eurhythmics. And of course, there's many more offerings and important milestones, but these are some of the most fundamental and rudimental parts of Eurhythmics history in the United States. And it's important to note that when these classes first started, they started at cheap course rates, but as it expanded in the course offerings and the breadth of range of students that it would reach, the course tuition naturally grew up. More and more students began to have access to Eurhythmics, and it became a worldwide sensation. There were more diverse course offerings than just movement, improv, or solfeggio or musicianship courses. There were courses that were embedded underneath that are very similar, but are very niche, so they had their own category. And Eurhythmics reshaped how music educators and students alike felt, thought about, and experienced music. It gives a new perspective of music from feeling and internalizing music rather than just playing what's on the page. It makes the musician feel how the music was written, and they get to experience the pauses in music. They get to experience music in a whole different light that wasn't ever done before. It trains their ears so much that it gives them another light to listen to and play music. And then Eurhythmics, because so many people started learning it, by the year 1965, 180 Dalcroze teachers in 24 states and 93 cities were around. In addition, there were several graduates of the school, along with members of the Association of Dalcroze Teachers in America, ADTA, and these teachers were teaching in Japan, the United Arab Emirates, Israel, South America, France, and Canada. So as I said, the reach that Dalcroze's teaching had did not just go to the United States, but it went worldwide, and teachers from the United States and all other countries started learning Eurhythmics to teach with their students. And Eurhythmics is still taught today. I know many important and many renowned schools such as the Eastman School of Music. It has requirements in Eurythmics, and it has course offerings in Eurythmics. Some schools require it for every semester the student attends because it opens up the students' ears to appreciate, and it opens up their mind and body to experience music in a light that would otherwise be forgotten. And to wrap this up, after researching and learning about Eurythmics, I can certainly say that Dalcroze was a master pedagogue and developer of the Dalcroze method. He fully sought to reshape and reform how music was taught around the world in a new light and way that it hadn't been taught before. Dalcroze shared his teachings in many books and with many prolific musicians that the teaching over 100 years later is still being taught today. So you can tell that it has reshaped music education. Without Dalcroze, some of these courses at ISU that we have to take would not be as intensive or as formed like they are. Musicianship courses, courses in music theory, courses on movement would not be offered, or they would not be to the same extent as what Dalcroze has devised. His method is super important for everyone to take a look into and appreciate, because Dalcroze really did touch the hearts of the world. Thank you.